Hello, Son Up family. Welcome back. And we're getting to ready to start our second conversation. But before we get into this, let me remind you that you can follow us on our various social media platforms, which is Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, and TikTok. And of course, if you miss any of the segments, they're uploaded to our YouTube page, so you get to revisit. If you missed anything that you feel is important for you to reiterate, then you can go back and you can rewatch it. And of course, share with your viewers, share with your audience, share with your network, because let's get these conversations going. One thing about Sun Up on 7 is that we try to bring conversations that are out of the ordinary for you to be able to talk within your network, because that's how we get to transform lives and we get to make some change. So go ahead, share, and follow us on our various social media platforms. And now, let me invite you to join us in our second conversation. So we have Mrs. Rosanna Briceno, Special Envoy for Families and Children. Welcome back. It's good to have you fresh in the new year with us. Happy New Year.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
It's always a pleasure to be here.
And we've
on
been
a positive note.
And we've been enjoying the hot cocoa and everything too as well.
I'm
yeah,
happy to
good.
hear that.
It was good. Thank you.
I'm happy to hear that.
Yes. And also we have Dr. Harold Young, who's the author of The Legends of the Sleeping Giant.
Good morning. Thank you for
Dr.
being
Harold, how are
having
you
me.
doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. My first time on your show, so
Nice. We love
looking
to
forward
have you.
to it.
How are you feeling about the weather?
It's good.
Yeah?
I have some friends who are in the 30s, so abroad.
Right.
So when I said, well, I have to pull out my comforter because it's going to be 64, they
They
don't.
probably laughed at you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not. No, they didn't. They were mad.
But yeah, it's good to have you both here to have this conversation. So we're talking about the Belize Pantheon Fantastic. We're going to find out more about it. So let's
Yeah.
have Mrs.
Well,
Briceno introduce
on a
us.
positive note, we're here. We're bringing the legend of the sleeping giant. Everybody knows about the sleeping giant in Belize, right? Every time you go down south, you're looking for the sleeping giant on the mountains.
Yep.
As a child, I grew up looking for the sleeping giant all the time. My dad would
Like,
say,
where is it? Where is
Yeah,
it?
she's trying to follow along.
trying to find the shape and how it's lying down and all of that. Well, Mr. Young wrote a story based on the sleeping giant, his version of it, and I think it's incredible, and he's here to tell us all about that. But why am I here with him today is because I am partnering with him to promote his book, to promote it's a competition that we want to tie in with Earth Day.
Okay.
We are all about taking care of our planet, and I think this story that Mr. Young wrote, I think it just complements that, and it will definitely include young people. We want our young people to be involved in positive things, and I think to begin the year, I think it's a very positive thing, and there's prizes to be looked at, to be garnered, and there's also the creativity that we want to bring out from our young people.
Most definitely.
So this is that's why we're here, and I'm excited about this project, and I will do whatever I can to help Mr. Young get this competition going.
Okay.
And like I said, he wrote the story, so
What's the competition exactly going to be about? Oh, okay.
he comes
There we
in.
go.
Let us know what's happening.
Right. So the idea, the big concept is that I feel like in Belize we need to be more creative and take more ownership of our defining ourselves and promoting ourselves. So that's like the meta concept. Where Fourth going to see a sleeping giant is that what I did in the story is create a mythical titan or being that is prehistoric, doesn't have any time frame,
Yeah.
right? And this giant created what is now known as Belize. The story does not refer to Belize in a modern term, right? So it's a fantasy, it's a mythology. And this giant has created the Mayan mountains, has created the reef, created the rivers, the valleys, and physically created it. And he has done, or he or she, doesn't have any gender, has been doing this around the world. And when they came to this spot on the Yucatan Peninsula, he or she liked it. Chango is the name of the creature, the titan. And he was tired, or she was tired, and decided to go to sleep, having worked, having created this geographic area. And so the story ends with him or she going to sleep, and we're not sure if, if he's sleeping in the picture that you have in the Mayan Mountains, or if he's sleeping on the coast where Rockville,
Okay.
right? So it ends there where we're not sure, but the call is that we must protect this Chakchanga's creation.
Okay.
All right.
Okay?
I like it.
So then the next part of it is where the artists come in is we have this physical world that was created, and it has a population of mythical beings, ethereal, it could be human, spiritual,
Wow.
mixture, animals. And so what we're asking the artists to do is to create these mythological creatures or spirits that inhabit Chakchanga's land.
Wow.
Oh, that's so cool.
I love it.
Right.
I love it.
And also you can, the artist can also submit a rendition or their conceptual of Chakchanga, the Titan itself.
Itself, yeah.
The other smaller part to it, which is also important, is that it not just is it a artist's rendition of, you know, their imaginary entity, but they can collaborate with a writer, because not all artists are writers, not a lot of writers are not artists, right? I mean, graphic drawings. So they can collaborate if they want with somebody to write a little narrative about what sort of powers or what kind of the person is or the entity is.
Yeah.
So this is not promoting, they don't all have to be good. I mean, if you think about Greek and Roman mythology, right, which dominates our education, dominates our mind, you know, we know all about them. Some of them are good, some of them are bad, some of them are both. They're conflicted.
Yeah. Some are pretty,
Some are pretty, some are ugly, some are human-like, some are mixed with animals. So, you know, so it's like, it's that sort of thing. And we're not trying to duplicate that, but we want our local artists to come up with things that, that they would conceive would inhabit this world that we now call Belize.
Wow. I love it.
Right?
Right.
And I was thinking about, I'm not prescribing, I'm just saying, like, thinking about if I were, because I'm not an artist, like a graphic artist, but I would think, like, what, you know, like, it could be, like, you could start with, like, something that maybe you created when you were a child, like, you know, the boogeyman under the bed sort of thing, like, you know what I mean? But that's the kind of thing, we want people to stretch their imagination, we expect that there will be mixed mediums, too. So some people may do just a painting, some people may do chalk, some people may do more modern graphic, cartoon-like, you know, it doesn't matter. The point is that you're bringing forth something and contributing to this world.
Ah. So you're creating
It's
your own mythical
fantastic.
being.
Yes,
Yeah.
And
yes.
this is supposed to be living in like an enchanted forest. Which
Sure,
is Belize,
sure,
basically.
which is Belize, yes.
That is so cool.
And so the story describes what the giant, the Titan did, and so you want to have
All right.
inhabitants.
Okay.
Right.
So I think one of the first things, as now that we're launching this, is where can people have access to the story? Because I think it's important to have that access and let this imagination start
Yes.
flow.
Yes.
Where can we get access?
Well, I was just thinking about that, and I think, yes, that story definitely has to be released. I know Mr. Young has written his story. It's being looked at, and a little editing has been taking place, but it should be ready because the competition is supposed to begin today.
Oh, wow.
That we're
okay.
launching this competition, and we're looking at budding artists, young people between the ages of 15 to 25.
Yes.
Okay.
And especially we're trying to focus on the high schools and probably like sixth formers, those young artists that are trying to find their way. So this platform, this story, this fantasy
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
world creates a good platform for them to step off, you know,
Yeah.
using their imagination and their creativity. So once we get the story out, which should be out pretty much.
I have it on my Facebook page.
It's already
It's on the
around.
Facebook page.
Go to Dr. Young.
Yes.
No, you can. No, if you Google Belize Pantheon Fantastic, the page will come up and you'll get the
there you
story
go.
there.
Okay, perfect. So you guys know where to go so you can be able to find the story.
So it's
Yes.
called Pantheon Fantastic.
Belize Pantheon Fantastic.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is the art competition that will bring all will bring the legend of the sleeping giant alive.
Yeah.
So this is basically what
Yeah.
Mr. Harold is doing, and I'm helping to promote this. So in that, with that said, the competition begins today, or it launches today.
Wow.
And
How long is it?
It will end on Thursday, March 31st.
Oh, I was
Okay.
No. March 31st. March.
31st, because we want to
Time with Earth Day.
Yes,
in
that
April.
it's
good because I got
ends on
frightened
Earth
the way
Day.
how you said Thursday.
No.
Thursdays are right here.
It will be announced on April 22nd, which is the actual
Earth
Earth
Day.
Day, right?
Nice.
So I'm excited about that. So we will have an official ceremony with the winners, and we have some amazing prizes.
Tell us about those prizes because, you know, the corporate senses are tingling and people are like, okay, what are we going to win?
Well, it says here that the prizes include gold, which is first place, silver, second place, bronze, third place, and 1 viewer choice award and 3 honorary mentions. I think Mr. Harold will have to explain that a little bit more. But for the first prize, the gold prize is an Apple tablet with graphic design software. Because that's what we want to
That is
promote,
perfect,
right?
yeah.
The whole artist.
That's exciting.
I don't imagine you win something that can actually contribute to your craft.
Yes.
You can like just make it
Definitely.
even better.
Of
That's,
course.
that's the
Yes.
goal.
And then the silver prize is a Samsung tablet. And then we have a cell phone as the bronze prize. And then the viewer's choice prize is a gift certificate to purchase art supplies, because we want to promote
I like
that talent, that skill. And then we have honorary mentions that will get medals.
I like
Wow.
So we're looking at, and also, of course, we're looking for sponsors, right? My office is one of the sponsors, and to purchase all of these things, because we want to give solid gifts. These gifts are going to help that young person develop his talent,
Yeah.
his skill. So that's what we're looking at. And of course, bringing life to the legend of the sleeping giant.
Right. I wonder if anybody will have him smoking, because remember last year the sleeping giant alive was
Yes,
he smoking.
super funny.
Yeah.
I'm trying to wake up the sleeping giant, right? I'm like,
So part of the yeah. No, I mean you're right. The part of the idea of it being mythical is to allow people to step out of the judgment zone.
Yeah.
right.
You don't have to make it conform to any
Sure.
contemporary rules because it's mythical.
Yes. So
Right?
anything- the sky's the limit.
Yeah, the sky is the limit. So it allows the person to just, or the artist to just put forward something that you can't judge it because you're saying this is mythical and not saying,
Right.
it's a mythology. So yeah, but to support and to thank Her Excellency for being the patron of this event. We have some good sponsors, good prizes, like we
Right.
said. But one of the things that I'm working on right now, and is to have a virtual exhibit. So we're working with. I have a couple of people I have to mention that are supporting us along the way too.
Right.
So, Mr. Daniel Guerrero is designing a virtual exhibit. So what you're going to be able to do is to go in online and literally walk down an exhibit hall and see the pieces, see the works on the walls,
That's submitted.
but that are submitted. Then we'll talk about submitting in a minute, but submitted, and then you will be able to do your viewer's choice there.
Okay.
So you can vote there,
That's
and then
how
it's
you vote.
recorded, your viewer's
That's
choice,
your choice.
right? And then we have a panel of judges. We don't like, arts don't like to talk about judging and competition, but somehow we have to
Yeah.
award the prizes, right?
Exactly.
So we have a panel of diverse. By diverse, I mean we have like some a teacher who will do some of the narrative, read the narrative, but then we have some artists, and so we have a good panel, which I won't call their names because we don't want people trying to influence them,
Local people.
right? But it's a solid panel and then they will do the reviews and make the recommendation. So it's not, nobody please call me or call the ambassador about winning, right? Because we have a panel that will do that, and they will pick the other part I think we need to talk about is how to get your entries in.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, we have collaborated with the library service. You
Right.
want
It says here the candidates have two ways to submit their applications. They can do it digitally or physically.
Okay.
The digital application will be submitted via the competition's official email. So we're going to get that.
It's there already. They have it up there.
The application form and picture of submission based on the criteria must be included. The physical copy of the submission must be submitted where the submission is. Okay, so
Libraries.
the physical applications will be submitted at the library services across the country.
Okay.
So this is a countrywide thing. It's not a Belize City
No,
thing.
right.
Okay.
That's important.
Countrywide, anybody can send in a physical submission to any library in the country.
They just need to write
We're
that
working
there.
on that.
Yeah, there's the email right there,
There you go.
Okay.
right?
So that makes it so accessible.
Yeah.
And we're
so-
also working along the Ministry of Education, niche, and we're trying to get the town councils and city councils to disseminate some of the information. So we're going to be working on flyers.
Okay.
I just spoke to Rosanna about that. We're going to get the flyers out so that it makes it easier for people to get more information.
Yeah.
Today, what we're doing is basically launching it, talking about it, the exposure. We have Mr. Young here. He wrote the story.
Yeah.
So he is here to tell us exactly what he expects.
Or just that's what you really expect. From this overall story, you're thinking that we're gonna have a lot of entries. I'm
Yeah.
knowing this,
We will,
right?
we will.
And so because of
Hope
all
so.
these entries,
I hope so.
I believe
We
so.
will.
I'm
I already have some friends in mind that I'm gonna definitely tell them about
Yeah,
this.
I know. I have a lot of artist friends. I'm gonna be like, hey, did you know about this? Let me send
Please,
you the link
please,
to this,
yes.
right?
Yes.
But I'm thinking, we only have about 4 winners when you think about it, sadly. So is there anything in your mind that could possibly be done for the other people that have submitted their entries too that are really good and you'd want to see something come from that too as well?
Yes, we have thought about that. I mean, let me say something. Let me just say something before I address that. Is that Belize Pantheon Fantastic is the overall name of the project.
Right.
The theme for this year just happens is the Legend of the Sleeping Giant because we have to start somewhere, right? And so we start with something that I did.
Yes.
But in the future, we could have Belize Pantheon Fantastic Songs of the Wind, where it would be like a song competition.
Okay.
I don't know, I just made that up, right?
Part 2, right?
Part 2, right? And so you'd have different themes as you go along over the years.
Okay.
Okay? And Her Excellency didn't mention it, but her office is going to produce the certificates, the embossed certificate
Right.
that says that the participation, but also if you won. And then you can put that in, the artist can put that in a resume and said, I placed
Right.
in this competition,
Definitely.
right? Which is something is good. So you come with an embossed certificate, you'll get that. To address the question, we want. What was the question? Having said what I said.
I was talking about what's going to happen with all of
Yes,
these
yes,
entries.
yes.
Yeah.
The idea is so we want to get the winners, yes, but we're also trying to identify talent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Where are the budding, talented people? Where are they? Right? Those who may be tentatively taking their first step and may need some nurturing. Some of the people at the panel do nurture,
Right, they
a
do.
mentor, so we can help with that. If somebody shows exceptional and maybe has like some art already, we can have like a exhibit for that person. We can organize that.
This is where the viewer's choice
the
comes
viewer's
in,
choice
too.
comes in.
Yeah, that's
Where
what I was thinking.
The public gets to look and choose the winner there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just a little thought, because
So,
I'm just
yeah.
adding like a little nugget to
Sure.
something. Is it possible to have for the viewer's choice? We have amazing artists that are featuring their work. Could it maybe be something too as well that the artist can price their work, and then if somebody wants to purchase it, they're able to do that? I think that would be something
Well,
too as well.
no, that's an excellent point. This project will not be holding any rights to the art.
Right,
Okay.
right.
We're not in a thing of taking art from people and then doing something with it itself. So that's why I mentioned about the certificate, right? The
Right.
exposure the artist gets, they'll be able to parlay that into, convert it into the value of their work and you know, and do it. So one of the panelists who is a big supporter of the arts described it as sort of like a democratization of art as opposed to a commercialization of it
There we go.
by some
Right.
organization
Exactly.
or entity,
Yeah.
right? It's democratization. In other words, it's giving the power to the artist, giving the exposure to the artist, and then they can take it and do, you know,
What they will
what they
with it.
will
And
with it.
whatever medium they want to use, like Dr. Harold said at the beginning, it's up to them what they want to use. There's cartoon, like you said, there's the anime. The anime is big right now.
Yes.
You know, just mythical.
And it could be on a piece of cardboard. It could be on canvas. It
And
could be on
every-
wood.
Anything, just to
As long as it's two-dimensional. We're not doing videos or
Right.
memes or anything like that yet, right? So it's two-dimensional. But yeah, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to go out and buy an expensive
No.
canvas
So you just
thing.
have to make sure your imagination runs wild
Yeah.
and you're
Yes.
able to just put that on whatever canvas you want to make it to be, whether
Yes.
it be just like virtual, physical, whatever. The sky is the limit, really.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And I'm really loving this project. I love the fact that it starts today and you have a amount of time.
Yeah, March
31st,
Yes.
not this Thursday.
No, not
the
this
Thursday. Because
No.
Yeah.
Her Excellency really got me frightened just now. But
No.
this is an amazing initiative that I'm hoping a lot of young people, and I know a lot of young people are going to be able to take control of this because it's not like you have to draw a
Right.
person. It's like you're
No.
creating your own being,
Yeah.
your own mystical creature. The sky is the
Yeah.
limit for you of what you want to do.
Yeah,
So,
Ren,
oh,
I also want to extend the invitation when you have this virtual exhibit ready
Definitely.
to walk us through it. So you should definitely come back on Sun Up on 7
Yes.
so that we can see what the submissions have been like and of course
Definitely.
bring the winners. Like Fridays
Yes,
are our
a lot
art and
of
entertainment
winners.
days. So we would love to host them and talk about the whole
Yeah.
idea that came from drawing these mythological creatures. So there you go. Stick a pin there. Yeah, stick a pin
definitely,
there.
Yeah.
we want to get them on.
it's on the winners will be announced on April 22nd,
There you go.
on the day of Earth
Earth
Day.
Day.
Yes, oh, that's perfect.
We're
We're looking for
preserving
Earth
our
Day stuff.
Earth.
Anyway, so
Yeah.
we're going to be able to feature them as well in their work because this is definitely
Definitely.
something, when you think about 501 excellence, and you mentioned something very softly, but you mentioned it that all the judges are local judges.
Yes,
and I
Yes.
think that is something key to as well, that, you know, we have our own people judging this work and not really judging, but being able to give, you know, credit to where credit
Yes.
is due.
Yes.
And so I'm hoping that all artists out there, if you're not even an artist, you know somebody that's an artist, make sure you tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend's friend.
Yes.
Yes.
And so we can spread the word about this. Remember, again, it starts, today is the official launch day. You can go on the Belize Pantheon
Pantheon.
Pantheon, Fantastic. It's right up here. Right up here. You register
Right.
now. There's two ways. You either do the physical copy, which you can go to the different libraries, or you go also and do a virtual copy. There's an email there that you can send your work
Right.
to. But this is incredible. Go and check out the store, guys. Let's learn a little bit more and see how your imagination can run wild. So again, thank you, Doctor.
Can I make one? I have to give one shout out.
Okay, yes.
I have to give a shout out.
Shout
I have to give a shout out to Gerald Chavans. Gerald Chavans is a friend of mine from many years ago, decades ago, and I'll say how long. But he's the one that did the design,
Oh.
the Belize Pantheon Fantastic.
There we go.
So Gerald is very talented, and so he doesn't qualify to enter into the,
What is that, Gerald?
he doesn't qualify to enter into the but Gerald did it, and we have sponsors already who. I don't think we should start naming the sponsors yet.
No,
but,
not yet.
But we do have people who have stepped forward already.
Right.
And so we're on the right.
This is one of the sponsors, so let's start
Yes,
there.
Of course.
Yes, yes. So we encourage anybody who wants to sponsor to contact either Her Excellency's office or myself. My
Exactly.
email is there.
Email.
And offer to contribute, and we will have the list so that they
Right.
get credit.
We're looking for these young people out there, 15 to 25.
We're
high
recruiting them.
school.
We're recruiting them right
Anybody,
now.
anybody off the
It
corner,
doesn't-
anybody.
You don't have to be in high school. You don't have to be in sixth
You don't
form.
have to be
Once you're
affiliated to
between
any institution.
15 and 25, we're good to go.
Yes.
There we go.
So
Yes.
how you, you know what, I'm going to ask that question. I was like, how you going to turn 26 this year?
Yeah.
Still, like, do you still apply?
You still, no, you still, you can, yes,
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 Just
yes.
before, if you're...
still
If you're the 23rd of April, you're eligible.
Okay.
There you go.
It'd be so funny if you're sending your thing just before your birthday and then it's like, oh, I qualified. But you know what? I'm trying to find a little loophole there. But
Yeah.
thank you again
It's all
for this
good.
Thank you,
initiative.
thank you.
We
Thank you
really
for
look
having
forward
us.
to it, and
Thank
we're
you.
definitely going to be that follow-up. on getting these winners and
Of
also just
course.
finding about this virtual exhibit because we love to showcase 501 excellence here. And so that's definitely something we're looking forward to. However, we must go to our commercial break. And so with that, let's have that. And when we come back, we're going to be talking to the Belize Tropical Hemp Company on their services and how you can be a part. Stay tuned for that conversation.